One.
It is Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day in the United States and Canada, and this is a show called What Chaos from the Sports Interaction Studio. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and holding it down in the City of Champs is Sean DePaz. God damn it, why didn't we make the thumbnail for today just Professor Uribe?
No, I'm joking.
I'm joking.
That man is looking down. That man is smiling down on all of us, being like, joke well, kids.
The way you said April Fool's Day, it made it sound like you were saying April Fool's Day. It's not April. You were like, it's April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Fuck, I should have said it's April 2nd, April Fool's. I think that all three of us probably retired from April Fool's jokes a while ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And honestly, the whole world should retire from April Fool's jokes unless you've got a real banger. If you don't have a banger, sit it out because you look like an idiot. A fool, perhaps.
Dion Dawkins got me for a split second for like the first 3 words of his caption. He posted a traded to Miami graphic after his recent comments about wanting to be traded to Miami, and had me for a half a second. Then I remember what day it was.
I liked the Cleveland Browns one. You see the Cleveland Browns, Sean?
I did not.
They did. I want to get the exact wording because this is an extremely rare Cleveland Browns dub. They posted a new era period introducing Origins, and it's a football helmet that finally, because the Cleveland Browns famously just have their logo is an orange football helmet. They wear orange football helmets, and the new helmet they were allegedly unveiling had an orange helmet on it. I saw that, and that was how I learned it was April Fool's today. I was like, good shit. Cool. Nice.
I saw that the Ohio's WNBA team that hasn't is yet to be named and branded and stuff released their branding, and it was all Ohio Wolverine stuff, like heavily Michigan themed, which obviously does not play in Ohio. And look at the replies. Far too many people took that seriously.
Pete, what are we looking at here with a Rangers jersey?
It's a Brian Leach jersey, and there was a Rangers fight last night.
Oh, okay. Very topical.
That's right.
Keep it topical by telling us what's on the show.
Today on the show, let us discuss goalies, both endearing and derogatory, because goalies are having a moment right now, and it is wide-ranging. We're also going to talk multifaceted bear chat.
Yeah, there's going to be multifaceted bear chat.
I'm very excited about that. We're going to talk normal stats, and then we're going to talk rare bad look for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Finally, the Maple Leafs look bad in the public sphere.
This is one that I think is going to keep people. I think that our retention today is going to be amazing because people are going to say, I'll be the judge of whether or not an L was taken by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's jump in with, I was putting one more note in the Ullmark section, and it just hurts my fingers and my body to type anything about what's going on there.
Yeah.
Against the Leafs. Against the Lightning. Unprofessional. Let's go. There was a goalie fight last night. The third of the season. Jacob Markstrom against Igor Shesterkin. We'll show the fight. I'll say as I was watching it, Pete, I was like, I need to throw down the gauntlet and challenge the Devils and Rangers to be good teams and interesting teams because this is what you're giving me late in the season. Granted, I think sometimes even when those teams are good, I don't really care too much about them, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite.
I mean, I really like when the Rangers and the Devils are good. I guess I won't say the Rangers as much as the Devils, but that rivalry always has juice. But we got a third goalie fight last night, and honestly, it was a good one, but it kind of bummed me out how little it excited me. Maybe it was because the teams aren't very good. Maybe it's because we're approaching the sort of the area that we were scared about when goalie fights re-entered our lives. Are they becoming too popular? Have they lost their luster a little bit?
3 in a year.
3 in a year is crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I got last night.
Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
No, I was going to say, last night I saw a penalty shot in the Sabres-Islanders game, and I was explaining to my mom, I was like, you don't see these. And I think if you saw them all the time, it wouldn't matter. And goalie fights, I feel like, are even more rare or it used to be even more rare. And now, I would agree that they're losing their shine a little bit.
Shootouts have also watered down the penalty shot. Like the moment in Big Daddy where he's trying to watch the game, but the kid wants to do the kangaroo song, but there's about to be a penalty shot. If you're watching that these days, you're like, don't be an asshole. Put on the kangaroo song thing for the kid. But back then, I think this was pre-shootout. It's like, no, there's going to be a fucking penalty shot in a hockey game. I don't care what tragedies are happening right now. Like, channels are switching to the penalty shot like it's a tragedy. You know when there's a tragedy and then all the channels have to switch to it? That's what penalty shots used to be.
Okay. I would like for goalie fights to be treated like tragedies.
Once every 20 years.
Maybe, hopefully, even a little bit longer.
We like goalie fights so much we never want them to happen.
So
I was going to say that implies that you get real excited the rare time. Yeah,
that's a dangerous place to arrive because I love a goalie fight and I hate when we came so close for many years to having one and referees would get in the way and you were like, let them fight. It's just, I don't want it to be a common occurrence. Again, last night's was really, really great in the sense that Igor showed up to fight in his goalie fight.
Yeah.
And that's what I want out of a goalie fight. I don't want the smile. If you're going to get multiple of them a year, I don't want the guys showing up to center ice and chumming it up. Every once in a while, that's fun. Like when Swayman showed up with Vasilevsky, I think they both were like, we're actually getting to do this because goalie fights at that point were not allowed or not very common. So they were like, oh shit, we're actually getting away with this. Now we know that you can get away with it. You better come with weapons.
Now I think that if a player gets hit in any sort of questionable fashion and the goalie doesn't stand up for them, we can put them on Toronto Maple Leafs watch.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it. McDavid took kind of a weird hit last night. What's Ingram's lazy ass excuse? Just sitting there worrying about himself? Fight.
Behind the play, that the goalie's the one to see it. I think about Tage last year when he got hit.
It was a clumsy kind of, that was...
He dove.
That hit didn't matter to me, other than that Connor Ingram didn't stand up for him.
Okay.
And that Philip Grubauer, who, by the way, I need to withdraw my I'd like to see the Kraken make a run thing. Hand up, I'm joking. I had no idea Grubauer had won back the net in Seattle.
He's been good for a while. He's
no longer
the goaltender on your favorite Olympic team.
Okay.
I was going to say, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, but it just makes him so much less interesting. I'm sorry about that. That's my bad. Go Kings, go.
When I went on my tirade against the Seattle Kraken and I had to immediately issue an apology because of how mean I was, a central piece of that was
you're good, brother.
Philip Grubauer is the reason this team's going to make the playoffs.
But you didn't say that.
I did say I said that goaltending is the main reason that this team, and I said Joey Decord and Philip Grubauer.
So that was the thing. If I knew that this was a Grubauer thing, I would have been quite frankly, if you had said Grubauer, I would have known it because it would be the last thing I'd have heard before the conversation ended in my mind because I would have fallen asleep. Shout out Philip Grubauer. There's just not much motion there for me.
I find it particularly disrespectful that you, of all people, are allowed to say that you don't want a team in the playoffs because they have good goaltending. Regardless of
their good German goaltender in particular.
Yes.
It's not that. It's that I want the Kraken making a run because of Joey Decord. I want Joey Decord. That's 1,000% of it. There's no part of it that's about goaltending versus whatever. If the Kraken are good, I want us to be talking about Joey Decord. I want people to be sharing Joey Decord clips.
Once again, it's disrespectful coming from you of all people to assume that one goaltender is going to play over the course of a team's run through the playoffs.
I am fairly confident.
Just need him to get there.
I'm fairly confident that one goaltender is going to play over the course of the Edmonton Oilers playoffs. The most confident I've ever been. Thank you for bringing us to that point. I never had really thought about that. Good thoughts all around, but yeah, I think we know who the goalie's going to be. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but let's talk about these goalies who could not keep their hands to themselves. They were pissed, Sean. Give me the clip.
This time goes after one of the Devils. Here comes Markstrom. Markstrom
looks good, though.
Dropped the gloves. Markstrom was not happy that Shesterkin took a shot at one of his teammates. So Markstrom came all the way down the ice, and he and Shesterkin are throwing punches.
There you go, Igor.
Shesterkin
Yeah.
lands a couple.
That's your future Florida Panthers starting
This
goalie.
is the saddest part right here. Dab me up, bro. Shake my hand. Shake my hand.
I just want to shake your hand.
I just want to shake your hand.
So
Igor's a dog, man.
grades, Igor A. I'm still giving Markstrom an A. I think that was a good fight.
I'll say Markstrom put in most of the work pre-fight.
Yeah.
He skated all the way down there.
Yeah.
Igor put in most of the work during the fight.
But he also, you see when he took off his mask, he gave it one of these. Sex, brother.
That is probably that's got to be like a top 3 sexiest hockey thing, right? When the goaltender takes off his helmet and does the hair thing.
You know who does that a lot?
Who?
And I don't know if this is like the sexiest person in the world. I don't think he fancies himself a sexy person, although I think so. Stu.
Oh, yeah.
Stu takes off his helmet every 5 seconds so he can go like that.
I think the sexiest thing about Stu is that he probably doesn't consider his own sexiness, and it makes his sexiness even sexier.
We're going to do a little more Stu chat today because we aren't the only people who saw that Penguins Jesus stuff. Turns out a lot of people did, and they all believed it.
I don't know if they all believed it, but I think that too many believed it.
Too many believed it. Sean,
Too many?
We're not.
Yes.
We're not. How are we not acknowledging the fact that Igor just got like massively left hanging at the end of that fight?
Well, I mean, I think that if you're Jacob Markstrom and you kind of get fed a little bit, maybe the last thing you want to do is shake his hand.
I guess that's kind of my point. Like Markstrom fucked him up, kind of, and then he was like, "Now, good fight, brother." And it's like I think I don't know that those feelings are mutual.
He also beat his ass too bad, maybe. Maybe Markstrom is in, respectfully, earmuffs too soon, Sam Carrick mode. Or maybe he's not lifting up his arm so quick to be able to dap somebody up. Maybe it's all fucked up. Got fucked up too bad. You know what I'm saying?
Don't joke about Sam Carrick.
I'll say of the 3 goalie fights that we've had this year, that one, it's either 1 or 2. It's probably 1 just because of the anger behind it and Igor's performance, and plus the Igor post-game moment made it so much better. Sean, do you have that?
The Igor postgame, yes.
So good.
I didn't see that.
That part is so good. He comes out after being named one of the player of the game.
Hit him
And
with
then
the
after the
Batista
game,
entrance.
he thanked his boxing coach.
I did see that.
Nice.
That was where I was like, all right, I'm with Pete. We're doing too much. The goalie fight thing is starting to jump
Ray
the shark
Emery lives
here.
on.
Yeah.
Ray Emery lives on.
I like the goalie fight thing to be like I don't know how to fight because I'm a goalie. I was just overcome by the moment. Had to kick some ass. Had to try to dap somebody up afterwards.
Yeah.
It needs to all be very like animalistic. I don't want to know if there was technique in there. I don't want to know that he was thinking about that shit beforehand. Jeremy Swayman, cat's out of the bag. He talks about goalie fights like Joey Decore talks about scoring a goalie goal. But these guys, I want it to be, damn, we got caught up in the moment, crashed into each other. Bah, bah, bah.
Counterpoint. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Yes.
Be about it.
Igor's not talking about goalie fights all the time like Jeremy Swayman is. Instead,
Because he's in the gym.
he's putting in that sweat equity.
Oh, yes. Yes. We're a sweat equity show now.
Sweat
Thank
equity,
you to Alex Lyon.
100%. I'm a big sweat equity guy now. Sean, Chad is saying that the Nedeljkovic fight was better than this one. Can you refresh our memory, please?
That is how I remember. Like, I remember that being the best of the year.
I actually don't really remember
Me
that
either.
one too much.
I
I
just-
remember the first one because it was so exciting, and I remember this one because it happened last night.
The lead up was better. I don't know if we have all of the lead up to it, but I remember there was a lot of
Ned getting or Bob getting down to the other end of the ice was, I think, the most exciting moment of the fight. But it was quite exciting.
but it was also the first, so maybe there's some
The Bob one was the second one, correct? The
No.
first one was, I thought the first one was the outdoor one with Swayman and
I don't
Vasilevsky.
believe I could be wrong. Would be
I'll try to number crunch.
okay. I
Do we
think
want to watch it?
Bob and Nedeljkovic was first, but I could be incredibly wrong.
Okay.
Ned says chat was the first one.
Damn, my recall is terrible.
It's because you know why?
Because I'm stupid.
No, it's not why. And I'm making this up. This is wrong. It's because you're getting so much new information because you're reading so much. You're getting so much smarter that you're like losing other stuff. You know, like in space travel movies where they're like, all right, we got to get rid of this tank or whatever. And it's just like, that's what you're doing with information.
I think it's the drugs.
It could be. Pete's been getting into gateway drugs.
This is your brain and this is your brain on drugs.
Yeah, that's right. You remember the I had this conversation with Ellen like 2 days ago. Do you remember the anti-drug commercial where the woman is deflating
on
the
course,
couch?
yeah, for smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
The least effective anti-drug
It's
ad
like,
of all
oh,
time.
I
want me
could
to
feel
relax?
like that.
Yeah, that looks like
You want me to
the
chill the
greatest
fuck out?
experience of all time.
Please.
Yeah.
I need that so much. Okay, let's see Ned. We got Ned?
Yeah.
Go!
Oh, here we go!
Drops the mitts. Bobrovsky goes after Nedeljkovic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is heat.
Well, Bob didn't
It's
even take off his
passion.
helmet.
Look at them. They're flying.
Throw punches with Alex Nedeljkovic.
Oh, this is. I mean, the camera's crazy, too.
There's
This
no
one's a lot
punches,
more
though.
chaotic.
Yeah, this
This is like a slap.
Yeah, oh. Bah!
There's no- not a-
So that one
not a
was way
single
more
punch
chaotic,
landed.
but
Look at the
Yeah.
my dogs on the bench.
that one's way more chaotic and frenzied. But the Igor and Markstrom fight is a better fight.
But
100%.
And that's where you get into what do you want out of your goalie fight?
Yeah, that's fair.
If if that was like a wham bam thank you ma'am and it was all like frenzied and they crashed into each other and fell down, then that sucks. But they were going, they weren't flailing, but they were like going nuts for a good 15, 20?
I mean that's a perfect fight if you have the first half of the Ned Bob fight and the second half, the actual fight part of the Igor Markstrom fight. Because like the lead up to that shit was electric. Them like literally ripping each other's masks off to get to one another like that. That sets the stage. For
If they were to like settle in, you're right. If they were to like fight frantically for say the first 5 seconds there, and then you get the Devils Rangers fight, and then it goes back to the end of their. Actually, no, I want the end of the Shesterkin Markstrom fight because the big dog moment, R.I.P. Tiger Woods, was pretty good.
Chat's saying like you don't care who wins the goalie fight. You don't care about the quality of the fight. You care about the passion. My argument would be you had the passion in the Igor Markstrom fight.
Los Dos.
It was a good fight and it had a passion. So I would still rank that one first. And we do have an answer. The Nedeljkovic Bobrovsky one did happen first, and then Swayman Vasilevsky happened.
Do we have Swayman Vasilevsky? I think that's going to be ranked
Yes.
second or third here for me.
This one had the most ceremony, I would say.
Yeah.
Hagel in front of the net again. Swayman
Oh, and he
is
had
hot.
a stick
Vasilevsky's
attached to him.
coming out
Yeah.
across
Here we
center
go.
ice.
What a goof.
Swayman and Vasilevsky may go.
It's like battle
Swayman
bots.
tells Vasilevsky, take your mask off, and
I'm
he
going to
obliges.
center ice. Really.
Yeah, going to center ice is cool.
Crazy. Oh,
This is not as bad as I remembered it being. I was pretty short.
A minus.
Yeah, you didn't even finish that sentence before it was over.
Yeah.
everybody up on both benches.
I go Bob Nedeljkovic, Shesterkin Markstrom, and then this Swayman Vasilevsky.
I would be okay
I'm
saying that
swapping
like
those first two.
that Igor and Ned are like 1A, 1B.
They're definitely the first two.
Yeah.
And it's a distant third.
Carried by ceremony, that one.
Yes. Damn, those Lightning jerseys. They should fight
Like a
us
fine wine.
for the shit that we said about them.
a
We've
fine
also
wine.
got Victor Arvidsson last night recording the Oops Mostly Empty Netters hat trick. Mm-hmm. And you're a hat trick grader. You used to do
used to be.
Hatterboxed. Yeah. And
You gave up that life?
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, too many goals. Too many hat tricks. I wasn't about to commit to that every single night. It feels like we get a hat trick all the time now.
I mean, we did literally the first month of the year was a hat trick per day.
Yeah. So I'm still down to grade them every once in a while when there's like some wild circumstances or they're either really great or really terrible.
Yeah.
I famously stand on business of saying that if you get a hat trick with an empty netter, it's kind of a fake ass hat trick.
Yeah, what do you even call the hat trick? And I've seen this before, the hat trick with 2 empty net goals. Mario Lemieux did it one time. What would you, if like a empty netter hat trick is a fake ass one, what's a double one? Is that just like would you call that like a junior hat trick? A little hat trick?
No idea. A diet hat trick?
Yeah, I think that one empty net goal makes it a diet hat trick.
Hat trick zero?
Yes, a hat trick zero.
Zero sugar.
I'm calling it. I'll tell you what, though. I really want to see, and I don't believe it's been done. I want the all three.
Yeah.
And then that is the coolest hat trick in the world because you got to score 2 empty net goals. Your team has to give up a goal during that span so the other team doesn't just give up and keeps their goalie out of the net, and then you can get back out there. You got to do it probably across multiple shifts. I would love that.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Like that's so rare that it becomes cool.
Makes cool. Yeah,
someone in chat used the term cap trick, like Alex Lyon. Cap. I think that a cap trick is still one empty net goal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
No cap trick. Speaking of chat, we are going to get we're still waiting on like the final numbers of super chats yesterday. Thank you so much to everybody who super chatted. We are going to make a donation to Trans Lifeline. Ideally by the end of the week, we'll be able to post confirmation and we'll put it like either in the newsletter, Discord, like Instagram, someplace where you can see it. And I hope everyone feels really great about their super chats yesterday because it's going to a good cause. Thank you so much, everybody who did that. Now, for the Bruins, Victor Arvidsson is up to 24 goals on the season, some of them even against goalies. Mm-hmm. And the Bruins, I got to say, we talk about them on and off. They're just like one of the teams that we frequently check in on because we like them, but they're becoming hot in the streets. I saw Chicklets the other day talking about they're going to be a problem in the playoffs, like watch out for the Bruins. And I feel like I'm starting to see more and more of this. I feel like I heard a very loud sigh from Sean there. But Pete, how do each of you, I guess I'll start with fucking Sean. How do each of you feel about the Bruins becoming a bit of a darling?
I was just going to say if I did sigh because I just don't want to have to deal with that. But that would terrify me if I was Pete or any Bruins fan. I don't like I feel like part of why the Bruins have been like good and enjoyable is because they've been performing so high above expectations. If they start having expectations, that seems like a worst case scenario for the Bruins. I'm
a free thinker. I'm an independent thinker. I'm not going to let anybody's opinion of the Bruins sway my opinion of the Bruins, which is it's loser mentality. I am just going to be happy to be there. I have no real expectations for this team. Will I say like I don't believe in this team? I wouldn't go that far, I guess, because the Bruins' experience is that they can be awesome. It's just that they're not awesome consistently. And we've seen that on game-to-game basis where they're terrible for 20 minutes and then they undo it and win games. Like the game against Columbus, they probably played the worst period of the season in the first period, then came back and erased a 3-goal deficit and won in electric fashion. Like it's just the consistency factor for the Bruins. It's the fact that they're carried too often by too few players. But I'm absolutely excited about the Bruins and the run they're on right now. I'm absolutely excited about them being like almost 100% lock to make the playoffs. I think they're up to like 98%. And I'm excited about the fact that they may get better in like the next week or so, because now I'm starting to think about James Higgins, because we had the conversation. You don't call him up. You don't sign him to his ELC without the knowledge that like you're going to make the playoffs. Now that the playoffs are becoming more and more of I wouldn't say a certainty, but a likelihood, you're going to have a playoff run with this team. Add James Higgins to it, get him that playoff experience, however much it is, make this team better, and give the players who have got the job done to this point a nice little reward and a better player. And he doesn't have to play every night because Lucas Reichel has been pretty good for this team on that third line.
Yeah, the thing, though, about like James Higgins can be the reward is tough because he's a young player and veterans can. I'm not saying that all the veterans on the Bruins would be this way, but veterans can feel a certain way about
Just
that.
Say the name.
Who?
Nikita Zadorov.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't believe in kids playing or getting contracts or getting anything ever. I feel like players can view that as like so this person's here to take my job, more than they feel about sometimes when veterans are acquired at the deadline. Because that's a little like, here, we're giving you a little reward because you've played well.
Respectfully, Lucas Reichel got here like 4 days ago.
And right, the bottom sixers of this team are players who are probably used to playing for their job every night anyway.
Which is kind of the appeal of this team. It's like, oops, all misfits. And they've done a pretty good job with their piss and vinegar fighting every night. Like, the effort level of this team has never really been a question mark. They fight their asses off every single night.
As for the misfits thing, I forget what game it was. It was one of these games. It might have been the Florida game, maybe. But whatever game it was, when they first tried Zacha with Arvidsson and Middlestat, we both clocked it. And we like texted about it for a week. We talked about it on the show where like this is like the ultimate misfit line where every player on this line ideally is the worst player on whatever line they're on. And they are one of the best 5-on-5 lines in the league.
Yeah.
So that's where I would start to get, I like what you're doing. Like, think for yourself. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. But like how are they doing this thing is a nice magical feeling. Once everyone takes it as established, that's where, as Sean said, there's expectations. Like in the case of the Sabres, I expect the Buffalo Sabres to win a playoff round. And I think it will be a failure and a disappointment if they do not win at least one round of the playoffs. The majesty of the Bruins experience this year is, you didn't expect to see me, huh?
Yeah.
Thought I was dead, huh,
Ooh,
bitch?
Emma Roberts.
Yes.
Surprise, bitch.
Yeah.
That you thought you saw the last of me.
That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, like that's what the Bruins are supposed to be. It sounds so weird to say, like, don't put the Bruins in the same category as the Sabres. Don't give them that much credit.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. 100%.
Last Bruins thing I want to hit, unless we talk about other Bruins stuff later, is Jeff texted last night, and I don't know if he was Stony Baloney or what, but he said, Bruins don't have a captain, so who gets the cup first? Fair question. Who do you think should be the captain of the Bruins?
I had this conversation the other day. I don't fucking know. I mean, it's got to be either McAvoy or Pasternak, you would think.
I think it's Pasternak.
I think it's probably Pasternak, too. I think that he's not the loudest, but he's the steadiest. And I think that he's just a quiet leader. I think that you're probably not going wrong, whether it's Pasternak or McAvoy, but I would probably lean Pasternak.
I think that he's so clearly the face of the team. So, and that's part of the equation, but he's been there since, I mean, he was there and I know so was McAvoy, but Pasternak was there longer. I don't know. I watch this team and I feel that it's like more Pasternak. I don't cover them anymore, so I don't know what their relationships are like or whatever. But I watch them and I feel like it's Pasternak's team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players to ever play for the team, and like that is a pretty elite list. It can kind of sneak under the radar when you watch him night in and night out, but like, he is straight up one of the best players that's ever played for the Bruins.
Yeah. Put the C on him. And that shows growth from us, because this was a put the C on Nikita Zadorov show. I wouldn't hate that either. Zadorov, I think, has also, again, not knowing their interpersonal relationships, I think Zadorov has really gone from looking like, does this guy totally fit in, like, leadership-wise, to, I mean, he's doing rally caps on the bench the other night. He's goofing around. He's being the fun guy that we know he can be when he's making fun of people. Like, Zadorov, I feel like, is settling in this year. It's a good Bruins experience. Just
also throw Henry Arkiharyu's name in the ring.
I was going to ask who else scored last night.
He scored last night. His first goal as a Bruin.
That's
that
unbelievable.
crazy?
That rocks. By the way, I feel like it actually answered Jeff's question. Like, it obviously has to be David. David Pasternak has to get the cup first if they don't have a C.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I cannot seriously entertain this discussion.
No, let's do it.
No, but it's like
he's been there the longest.
I mentioned Beck Mallenstein, like it's not impossible. It is still on the table.
It's not impossible. It's very unlikely.
It's a fun thought exercise.
Their first line center is Fraser Minton. He had 4 points in the last 20 games.
I saw somebody I saw somebody, it was like a meme, it was like a reel talking about how Rasmus Dahlin should hand the cup to Zach Metza first.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, that's a fun thought exercise. Like, who does he hand it to first?
We have a show to do today. We need to talk today about what happens hypothetically if 100 bajillion things go right. All right, Sean, you were at the Sabres game last night, and you saw some really cool stuff, but you also saw a bummer. Do you have the Sam Carrick fight?
I don't have the fight, no.
All right, tell us about it. Tell us your experience of watching Sam Carrick last night.
Well, so I mean, it started. I had very, very good.
You took your mom, by the way. Sorry, I took your mom.
I did. It was my mom, my aunt, and my uncle. Really, my uncle took us because shout out my uncle. He served in the Gulf War. He gets access to like veterans tickets. And
I feel like the Gulf War is really underappreciated.
I would agree. It was yeah. It doesn't.
Shout
really
out George Bush Sr.
We actually had this conversation last night, and none of us really knew, including my uncle who served in the Gulf War. He didn't know who he was doing it for.
Hey, who's the president? Oh,
who's the guy that made you go there?
Yeah,
remember?
It was either Senior or it was or Clinton, but
it was. I don't think it was Clinton. I don't think it was fucking Clinton, Sean. I don't know.
They kind of stopped teaching U.S. history like after the Cold War. I feel like they don't really. I don't know. In my schools, they didn't really talk. But anyways,
George H.W. Bush.
Oh, Dave.
Okay.
That was like just like right around when I think. No, I would have been like 2 or 3. But I think that was like when I was supposed to know about recent stuff when I was a kid. Like the Gulf War was a thing that had happened a few years earlier.
I don't know too much about the Gulf War, but I am reading a quick little synopsis on Wikipedia. A very lopsided battle here.
Operation.
You've got Iraq and then a 42-country coalition.
just the West.
1 versus 42. I'm not super up to date on my war history. I did not know that was that was the scale there.
Yo, this show is so multifaceted. Chat was just hammering HW. Like once upon a time, where that same thing's happening because we're talking about There Will Be Blood. Mm-hmm. Today, it's because Social Clip today can be like politics, and it's just us breaking down the Gulf War and who may or may not have been president. But continue,
Yes.
Sean.
So my uncle got us really, really good tickets. They were like 8 rows from the bench, 8 rows from the glass, right next to the Islanders bench, very close to Matthew Schaefer in the game. In the second period, I want to say, Josh Norris just got like horribly boarded. He had to leave the game. He came back with stitches, and it was right in front of me. Like I watched his face get fucking smacked into the corner of the board because it was the rounded part at the benches. It was very bad. So no one answered for it in the moment. Come out of the face off to start the third period. Instantly, Sam Carrick drops gloves, and it was like a solid fight. He kind of gets thrown down, lands on his arm, and it's very unsettling. I don't know how it comes across in the broadcast, but it was very unsettling because the players around him like started freaking out instantly. Like
and
they all started like instantly waving him over. Players like started sprinted over to the bench so they could get the trainer over quicker, and they struggled to get him up. Period. Like because he clearly like broke his. I don't want to speculate, but he hurt his arm in some way in a very, very drastic way. That was very dramatic, and it was very sad because quite obviously, if you've been paying attention, like very good acquisition for Jarmo Kekalainen for the Sabres at the deadline. Like he's been a great 4th line center. He's great at faceoffs. Scored like the majority of his career goals in the last 2 weeks. It's been fucking insane. So it's I don't think your fourth line center is not necessarily make or break as far as doing something in the playoffs, but it's a sad loss if he's hurt long term.
I mean, he's such a good part of like the identity, even though he just got there, but he just fits in so well. Everything I see about the Sabres, and Sabres fans should be scared because Greg Wyshynski may have given the Buffalo Sabres the old Morgan Geekie treatment. Greg Wyshynski wrote a thing this year being like, Morgan Geekie is just like defying the whole shooting percentage luck thing. And then Morgan Geekie kind of struggled for a little while. ESPN put out a piece about the Buffalo Sabres and like, what are they doing? How did this happen? And one of the things in there was that they have, I think, like a really high shooting percentage from the slot and like right in front of the net. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to be a thing that I'm going to attribute to luck, though. That's going to be like
Right.
a mindset
Earn your
thing.
opportunities.
Like I'm sure Zach Hyman has a really high shooting percentage from the slot.
That's why they tell you to go to those areas.
Yeah, because he's just like a dog there. Not everybody is as comfortable right in front of the net. So I think the Sabres do so much damage there. Tells you a lot about them, and like I don't think of that as a luck thing, and it ties into Sam Carrick because I'm like he's that type of player that's just like where the fuck do I need to go? Who do I need to fight? How many arms do I need to have?
Yeah, I mean, like he's a very good face-off guy. It was just like a very good I don't know. It's kind of fourth liner on teams, not just 100 man, but he's a kind of fourth liner on teams that win Stanley Cups. So like. Yeah, I don't think by any means they're like fucking season's over if he's out long term, but not. It was just the vibes were good with him, and it's definitely sad to lose a guy like that immediately before the playoffs.
All right, we need to hit an Avalanche tweet from Monday. After beating the Flames 9-2 on Monday, the Avalanche shared an animation of teams being buried in snow. It was it's sick. Like the pucks with the logos turned to ice because they lost to the Avalanche, and it's great. And the caption was, "Burying the competition. With the win tonight, we've become the fourth team in the NHL since 1995 to have beaten every team in the league in a season." You got all that?
Yes.
What do we think of this stat?
Who gives a fuck?
That's not a stat that the Avs should be tweeting out. That's a stat that a random journalist should be tweeting out, being like, "Did you know they're the fourth team?" That's a fun fact.
It's more.
It's not something I would flex about myself.
That's like a press box handout game notes type stat.
It's like the 10th thing on the list, and
like Avs PR tweets it out,
yes.
not the Avs account with a fun graphic.
Bruins would do that all the time, where they would say, I don't know if they do it anymore, but they would say Patrice Bergeron has 26 goals in 26 of his last 45 games, and you'd be like, holy fuck, Patrice Bergeron has 26 goals in 26 games? Wait, in 26 of... So in his last 45 games, he's had games where he's scored a... Okay, that's not that interesting or whatever. Here's the thing, though. I love shit like this. I fucking
it's stupid.
love it. And I love that they're like, okay, let's make an animation behind it. Like it is this super hyper cherry-picked thing. And I quote tweeted with yesterday with just like, I love shit like this. I love cherry-picked stats like this. That's all I said. I mean, and it got a lot of like, and smart people, like the Megan Chaikas of the world were like either retweeting, like, just being like, yeah, shit like this is funny. Shit like this rules. There were some people who were calling me like the R word and stuff like that because they were mad at me.
Likely thing to happen on Twitter these days.
Yes, likely thing to happen on Twitter. And I don't really have anything that makes me mad about it because I like this. I think that it's funny. And I think that it's cool that they made an animation to go with, as Pete said, something that's like on the sheet that they print out that a writer looks at and they're like, should I use this? You know what? It'll be too confusing. The fourth team since 1995 to have beaten everything. First of all, there's a way more interesting way of doing that stat, which is to say those teams in 1995 that were beating all the other teams, there weren't 32 teams back then. So you're doing something that they might have been the first team to beat 31 teams in a season.
Yeah.
Like, can we look that up? Can we effort that?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Because somebody in the chat said, like, you could also do the first time since, but there's a chance that was just like last year. Like, I don't know who the last team to do it. I guess, how long have the Kraken been? Like, there's been, 5 years that somebody could have beaten 31 teams? But I mean, I think it's an interesting fact.
Yeah,
like
it's a fun fact.
It's like oh, that's cool. But like I said, I don't know that I don't even have a problem with the Avs tweeting it out, but like putting out a little graphic with it, that deep of an animation is a little.
Here's the thing, though. I had some people, and granted, their names were like Cale Makar, Goat, and we love Avalanche fans on this show. We especially love the Avalanche. But there was a lot of like, how is this a cherry-picked stat? Like the since 1995 thing, which people were like, well, maybe that's because the Avalanche moved to Colorado in 1995. You're talking about an individual team stat. You're talking about something the 2025-26 Colorado Avalanche did. It's not an organizational thing. It's not like you're saying, with this win tonight, the Avalanche have now scored like 5 billion goals and no other organization has done that or whatever. Like the field, if you're talking about an individual team, is every other individual team ever. So the since 1995 thing is just like a random parameter that you've thrown in there. But I don't want this stuff to stop happening because every time I see it, it makes me happy. And I really wasn't trying to make fun of it. I think that it's fucking cool. And I think it's adorable.
Boy, you would have loved when, I think it was the Avalanche, when they had like one of the worst seasons of all time, like however many years ago. They finished the season and then they did like tribute stats to every player on their roster, and they just cherry picked something that they could highlight this player for a tweet for like a month after the season ended. And it was some of the worst fucking stats you've ever seen. And they put out graphics for them. They were like, shit.
I would have printed cards with these things on them, but go on.
Shit. I'm trying to think of just like a random player that would have been on one of those teams. Just say like for JT Compher. I know he wasn't on this team. JT Compher had 14 hits in March. And they would tweet out like a fucking graphic of this, of that. And for like a month straight, because I was an asshole on Twitter, I'd be like, quote tweet every single one of them with like, awesome. How'd the team do? It was so bad. But it's so funny to like just see team admins need to find stats to tweet about and hit their quota per month.
The Dolphins, when they released Tua, they put out a graphic being like, thank you, Tua. And the 4 stats they had on there were 6 seasons, 4-time team captain, and 1-time Pro Bowler. And it's like, you could have just said thank you. You didn't need to. You didn't need to point out that he's done nothing with his career.
No, yeah, not every graphic needs a stat. Not every
Exactly.
not every announcement needs a stat. Not every stat needs a graphic.
See, I mean, I don't want. I did someone in the chat say, I hope that other teams will do this more. I hope that stat that the Avalanche put out got enough engagement that teams are like, look, we got to up our stats. And if we don't have cool ones, say that we're the fucking 9th team since whatever to do whatever. I love shit like that. So keep it coming. Colorado Avalanche, you're good in my book.
Can I give you another fun stat?
Yep.
The Detroit Red Wings have played 57 games in March over the last 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. They have won 17 of those games.
In the last since 1995, over the last 4 seasons, the Detroit Red Wings have played 57 games.
57 games.
Okay.
And they have won 17 of those games. Another loss last night, belt to ass perhaps.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Penguins, who on a heater. Penguins might be like the hottest team in hockey right now.
Penguins on the second game of back-to-back. Sheesh.
The Detroit Red Wings smoked 5-1 by the Penguins. Playoff odds down to 22%. What?
It's just so frustrating.
They come so close, and then March hits, and that team falls apart. 5-7-2 this year in March. Last year in March, 4-10. 2024, 3-9-2. 2023, 5-9-1. We have officially arrived, I think. They could make the playoffs. There's a 22% chance, according to moneypuck.com. But I think that we have officially arrived at the Detroit Red Wings being like the saddest perennial hopefuls in the entire National Hockey League. Congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres. They have graduated. The Detroit Red Wings might be the saddest playoff hopeful case in the entire NHL.
I did not think they were going to be the last of this bunch to do it, to like graduate. Like the Senators did it first. The Sabres, the Canadians did. Canadians, I think we all expected we're going to do it, but
not all of us.
Well, not all of us.
Oh,
yeah.
Keith Pelly.
It's a huge
Keith
surprise.
Pelly,
Who could have
Actually,
seen this coming?
that was actually a very big surprise, and personally, a lot of us were very shocked. I apologize. God damn, Red Wings. Still tied with the Flyers.
I don't think
Hottest team in hockey.
I don't think that you need to like press a button on this team, but there's something like I think inherently wrong with whatever's going on there.
I think a button does have to be pressed.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's an Yzerman button. I don't know if it's a Brady Tkachuk button. It is a. They gotta put finger to button. So, and I don't know who they is.
Pause.
I didn't like that, but I mean, you got to fire Stevie, I think.
I don't.
When you look at the Buffalo
necessarily
Sabres
think
and the
that you
fact
do.
that Buffalo Sabres just resurrected their franchise from the deepest grave you've ever seen simply by firing their GM.
They have a better team. They have a better team.
I guess.
And Yzerman's body of work is more impressive, I would say, than Kevin Adams. It's just like you look at the Red Wings heading into the season and you were like, okay, they could make the playoffs. They're probably a fringe team. They are a fringe team. The Red Wings have a really good system that has been replenished by Stevie Y. You are definitely coming up to a point where shit needs to happen. I don't think you have arrived there right now where you need to fire him, but definitely hot seat.
How are you going to say that the Sabres are a better team and it's a team that Kevin Adams built, but Stevie's better than Kevin Adams? Like,
because I think that Stevie's his vision, whether it was in Tampa, whether it's in Detroit, it's always been much larger picture, and he always preaches patience. I just think that patience is running out, but the seeds of the patience are planted. Like, they have a lot of guys coming up that will make this team better for years to come. It's just you have to get them to the playoffs next year. You got to do it.
Also worth noting on the Detroit Red Wings, they traded their first-round pick. They traded for Justin Falk.
I mean, that was stupid. That was always stupid.
They traded their first-round pick and I think a third.
Stevie Y did that.
Who did that?
Like I'm never going to defend that trade.
I think you got to fire Stevie Y. I don't know how are you going to like the Sabres just make it look so much worse.
Yeah, the discrepancy between how close they were and how far apart they are right now is bonkers. Damn, Red Wings, we're pulling for you. Get it together, Grouch. Now, this is kind of a bummer. Let's talk about the Linus Ullmark situation. Linus Ullmark on Saturday did not play against the Lightning. He, I believe, said he needed the day, and Travis Green, after the game, which I believe they lost to the Lightning, said, I want Linus to play every game, but he said that he couldn't go, something like that. It was some light throwing Ullmark under the bus. Ullmark obviously was away from the team this year for personal reasons, which he said was mental health related. And he's back with the team now, and he's played some. He returned to the net on Tuesday, gave up 5 goals on 16 shots against a Panthers team that, been resting in peace. We talked yesterday about how committed to the tank they are right now. And there's a video going around of him drinking water after the 5th goal, and he had a smile on his face. I'll just ask your thoughts on all this because I have thoughts about the smile thing, but it's a bad situation. He's making a lot of money, as we said yesterday. He's the second highest paid player on the team, I want to say, and it's year 1 of a 4-year deal that carries an $8.25 million cap hit. What do you make of the Linus Ullmark situation?
It's not good. It's definitely not good. I think last night was the first moment where I had the thought, they probably got to trade this guy if possible. They got to figure something out because I don't know. There's just so much noise going on around there, and there has been all season. And I want it to work out. I want Ullmark to be good. I want him to be happy, but it's very clear that he's just kind of getting skewered there and becoming a scapegoat, and it's obviously not good enough. And they really need him to be a leading force on that team because you've seen, and we've said it so many times, that's a good team when the goaltending is there. Mm-hmm. And they weren't a good team last night. It wasn't just Ullmark. They were a bad team last night. It's not 100% his fault, but he kind of has to pick up the team when they play like that, especially in a playoff run, and especially on the heels of what happened Saturday and how much heat was on him. It's all shit right now, and there might be a reset needed after what has happened this year.
I personally don't care about the smile thing. And I know that enraged a lot of people because maybe it's bad optics or whatever. I don't care. I don't know what's happening in that moment. I don't know if someone told a joke or something. I know that he's not happy in that moment when he just gave up 5 goals. He's not having a blast. I don't think anyone's having a blast there, which brings us to what you said about there needs to be separation this offseason. I completely agree. I think for everyone's sake, you just try to move on. And it's going to be tough to move $8.25 million over the next 4 seasons. Here's the thing, though. This guy won a Vezina, 3 seasons ago? Or I'm sorry, he's got 3 more years after this. Yeah. Really good goalie. He's going to be 30. He's 32 now, so he'll be 33. Goalies can play well in their mid-30s. I absolutely see a way in which this all works out for Linus Ullmark. I don't know if I see a way in which it totally works out for the Senators, because I think that's going to be a tough contract to move. But,
Cap's going up.
I don't think teams are going to have a ton of interest in Ullmark. I think that the fact that he was traded when his stock was very high for not a lot, like a first-round pick in the 20s, and the Bruins had to take back a bad contract, what was considered a bad contract at the time. The fact that he wasn't moved for a lot there.
Mark Haslick erasure. I apologize.
He's worked out very nicely.
He has worked out very nicely.
Okay.
Honestly, that trade is aging very well for the Bruins, as many trades have for the Bruins.
End of the year, Tristan Jarry for Linus Ullmark. Do you think the Senators would do that?
Do I think the Senators would do it?
Yeah.
It
2 more years.
It depends on
$3 million less per year.
It depends on how bad the Ullmark situation is from a locker room perspective or just perception perspective. I'm not going to say no.
I think that's what you're looking at. It's going to be a broken toy for broken toy take, but this is a diminished asset. Take back this diminished asset, swap up James Neal, Milan Lucic.
My only concern there, though, is how much better does it become? And I know this is venturing into hypothetical territories. How much better is Edmonton a situation for a goaltender who is maybe on shaky ground and his mental health struggles? Edmonton's a fucking pressure cooker more than Ottawa, I would say.
When there's proof too right now, look no further than Stuart Skinner's experience this season.
Correct.
He is the mayor of Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, I feel it's hard to say, but Ullmark is the Stuart Skinner experience on steroids. He's better goaltender, but also I think that the ground is shakier.
I think that that's what sucks about people knowing how much money you make, which is no matter where he goes, they can't be okay, we're going to try to cultivate an environment that works for this player. We're going to make them the 1B for this season. And that's just going to be the plan. we're going to put you in a tandem. You're going to be making more than the guy that's probably going to be playing a little more than you to begin with. But we're going to feel this out. We're going to get you into a place where you're comfortable, and we're just going to see where it goes from there. That I think can happen in a lot of places. I can't think of many other teams though that have the bad goalie contract to trade for that would make that happen.
I do.
Where?
Vegas Golden Knights.
That's interesting. Yeah. Aiden Hill.
How do they make the money work is the question, because that team has no fucking money.
Yeah, Vegas has no money this offseason.
Yeah.
And Aiden Hill's making what, 5? Something like that?
I don't have the numbers in front of me. That's just the one that jumps to mind because their goaltending has been so bad.
Ooh, someone says Chicago.
What do you think about?
Clearly,
Chicago, I was going to say
they got Spencer Knight.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You are the 1B to our not highly paid starter.
I guess I just it's hard for me to envision a team signing up to pay a backup goaltender.
I think in that case,
much money.
Ottawa's retaining. The only one I can think of where Ottawa doesn't retain is Jarry.
Yeah.
Aiden Hill makes 6.25, by the way. What about Carolina? Freddie Anderson's a free agent after this year. They obviously don't have a ton of money committed to. They could trade Kochekov in the trade if they wanted to, I guess. They don't
That's
have a ton
actually
of
a
money
really good
committed
one.
to
Yeah.
Bussy. And that seems like you're not like the pressure cooker thing that you're worried about. I feel like doesn't really apply to Carolina. It's got such a good team, such a good defensive team around him. Like that seems like it could be.
I like that pick a
unlocks
lot.
Yeah, good team, not as much pressure. I think that's
and it's like a goalie away. At least that's been the narrative around them for the last handful of years, that they're a goalie away. If Bussy continues being, or has been the Bussy he's been at points, then like that rocks. You don't have to really. Linus gets to be your 1B or whatever, and if not, like I feel like Linus can succeed there as a starter.
Sean,
how much are the Senators
call.
retaining there, though?
Thank you.
How much are the Senators retaining there, though?
I mean, if you're sending out, if you trade Kochekov in the trade, that's $2 million that you're. So like I don't know. Retain 25% of it. Retain like $2 million.
Yeah,
Pay
I think they have to
him $6 million.
eat at least $2 million, and then because Ullmark can very quickly become one of the best deals in hockey. If he
Yeah, I mean, if
refines what he was in the tandem with Swayman, then $6 million, something like that, for that guy. Cost control for the next few years.
I do
Bang.
think an
doesn't
important part of
really-
this as well is that he has a no movement clause. So he has final say.
Ooh, somebody said,
But I
wait, scroll up. This would be interesting. Somebody said, Minnesota. Ottawa gets Wallstead and first rounders plus. Minnesota gets Brady. No. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that they were going to trade Ullmark and first rounders for Wallstead. And that, I'm like, okay, maybe we got Brady Tkachuk being part of that.
Somebody said
Minnesota doesn't have that ton of money, do they?
make Florida take on the contract as a Tkachuk sweetener
Oh,
in a Brady deal.
I mean,
they have money coming off the books if they don't re-sign Bobrovsky.
I would love Ullmark for Florida because that's another like good team, not a lot of pressure.
I mean, there's pressure in Florida.
Not as much. I'm saying like not as much as a Canadian. There's pressure because you're expected to go far in the playoffs, but you're not like there's no media pressure.
I guess, yeah. And reunion with Brad Marchand.
It's like it's not. I would say not even close. The decrease in
definitely.
pressure
Yeah, of
from where
course.
he is right now, even which is
Market-wise,
a
yeah.
non-playoff team, there's more pressure there than if you went to the Florida Panthers. Yeah,
what about the Pittsburgh Penguins? They don't have any goalie signed next year.
they have a lot of goalies coming up.
They have the goalie of their future.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Blomqvist.
They have
No. There's a Russian guy. I think
Yeah,
he's
they
Russian.
have one more kid on the way, and they have what's his face,
Murashov.
Mershov, yeah.
Murashov, and why can't I think of the kid that they got from Artur Shilovs?
Well, he's an RFA as well.
Yeah, but I know,
Yeah.
he'll be there. I think Florida or Carolina are good spots. Make it happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Free the
I
man.
like Carolina. Omar
And-
Carolina jersey would be cool.
I mean, I think that everybody deserves a break from this. I feel bad for Ottawa Senators fans who are probably having a tough time being frustrated in a healthy way. This is sports fandom, so healthy frustrations are not really super common. Usually just yell everything that you're mad about, but this is a guy who I think has worn on his sleeve that he's gone through some tough times here. So, it's not like Senators fans can be like, fuck this guy and feel good about it. Like, I think that just a break is needed. Get him to Florida. Get him to Carolina. I like Carolina. Nice work, Sean.
Thank you.
A second Leon Draisaitl Haribo clip has hit the timeline. Sean, you got it?
Haribo, as I would say in
Haribo.
German. That always reminds me of back home, and used to go to these little, in Germany you used to call them kiosks, after school, and just make your own little bag and mix it all together. And it just reminds me of being at home in Germany.
Damn, I love that graphic. Okay, I love Leon Draisaitl more than anything, obviously, but am I wrong in saying that I'm finding him a little condescending there?
Why?
He's like,
Nah, I
Haribo,
like
as
it.
we
That's-
call it in Germany. I'm German. This is a German candy, you weird Canadian people with your cameras. We used to go to a place called, we would call them kiosks. I know that it was just a lot of like, how you say this.
Centre Bell.
Yeah, it's got big Centre Bell energy.
I have an unfortunate development that I was unaware of that was made clear to me by a listener of the show. And you boys are not going to like this one. From 2017, gummy bear maker Haribo investigating reports of slavery on Brazil plantations.
I did see that from the chat, and I hate to be a 1990s Michael Jackson listener. I was like, I'm not getting to this today.
I mean, I guess innocent until proven guilty. I would like to know what the results of that investigation were. I will say, not that this makes it better, but nobody wants to have that. People still wear Nike. Like nobody ever brings that up with like the biggest sports. I mean, people do bring it up. It's not okay. I think we should get rid of all of it. You know, I would like everything to be ethically sourced, but I think there's a lot of evil in the world.
Chat says
that doesn't make it any better.
Slave candy, TJ.
That doesn't make it any better. Yeah, that's awful.
Look,
I can't really.
Not to bring up the Harry Potter dilemma
DJ
for a 4 billionth time in the world.
Though. You ever had these gummy bears?
Not to bring up the Harry Potter dilemma for the bajillionth time, but like when we use our credit cards or when we press play on like a fucking Sabrina Carpenter song or whatever, like money is going to bad people.
Well, clear money is not going.
In the case of like Harry Potter, like J.K. Rowling's like, can't wait to get that money, can't wait to do bad things with it. I know what I'm going to do with it. And like we all know, like second that shit hits the account, she's like, okay, anti-trans shit. And so you can be like, I really want to make sure my money doesn't go to that person. If I buy some Haribo candy, which I've been doing a lot of salads of late, but Lord forgive me, I did buy some Haribo gummies yesterday.
Yeah.
You can guarantee that money is not going to the slaves.
Right. There is DJ's.
Every time you buy something, you can guarantee the money's not going to slaves.
It is not
slaves
going towards slavery.
Don't get the money.
Yeah, DJ.
That's what the money's not for.
That's the spin there is like DJ's ethical dilemma is the money changing hands. There's no money changing hands here. It's just going directly to the bad people and it's staying there. We're all good. That's crazy.
Can I say to not completely change the topic?
I need to time out. Someone says, what does Sabrina Carpenter have to do with this? I'm saying that like someone at Spotify or someone at like a label or I'm not saying that Sabrina Carpenter is problematic, but if she is, let's get her.
I just love it's something so endearing about being like a little German boy on my way from school and being like, I'm gonna get my little bag of candy. Like I'm gonna go to the kiosk and fill up my little bag of candy and then I'm gonna eat my little gummies as I walk. Like that seems like the life. That's like the peak of European living.
Oh yeah. Someone in the chat said we used to, I don't know if you have a word for this, eat them, the candies. That does rule.
How you say?
I think it's very charming in all seriousness that he made everything part of like German culture. He was like, now there was they would have like an assortment, so you would put some in your hand, and in Germany we would have it so like you'd have like a red one in your hand and like a clear one in your hand, and in Germany there would be like a green one as well. I love all of it, and that animation, man, is keeping me up at night.
Worst part.
I might get that tattoo if the Oilers win the cup.
All right, so I'm getting a Beck Ballantyne tattoo if you win Conn Smythe, and you're getting a Haribo, however Leon said it. I'm not that good at German. Tattoo if they win the cup. I like it. I was going to say the worst part about
Fiona Jones. That's where I thought you were going with the little German boy thing. It was like somebody like standing outside the store yelling at a little German Leon Draisaitl. No, that's slave candy.
9, Leon.
9. But like
Julianne Moore voice.
9.
It's like sugar is an evil substance because like you put it in it doesn't matter the context of it. Like you bring up gummy bears, I'm like, damn, I kind of want gummy bears right now, even though the entire context of this conversation is gummy bears are evil.
Chad asked me what my tattoo is if the Bruins win a Stanley Cup. I have been keeping this one close to the vest. I'm planning a Bruins tattoo. Not like
regardless.
Yeah.
Victor Arvidsson headshot.
Yes. No, like not like a. I'm not gonna say like. Not like
it's
a
referential.
Yes. Yeah. I've planned this one for quite some time, and I'm excited about it.
I mean, I have no idea because, like you said, you've been holding it close to your chest. But like, I've said this before. I said this to you before, DJ. Like, Bears rock.
It's not good when Pete starts something with, I'll say it.
I'll say it. And you say Bears rock. I'm going to get a Paddington tattoo of Paddington wearing a Bruins jersey and just like kind of the shit beaten out of him. Just like a very rugged Paddington.
Amazing.
With a hockey helmet and hockey stick and probably like missing teeth.
Yeah, maybe like some of the, like, there would be like a number sign on the face to indicate that you've been punched.
Nope.
Really?
Oh, you mean like the hashtag?
Yeah.
We're getting into numbers on the face.
Pound.
That seems very... we could be dangerous territory there.
Okay, we'll get away from that.
It's not a Paddington gang tattoo.
No. Not although I feel like if there were such thing as Paddington Gang, Pete would be a member of it. That's
Definitely.
a gang that Pete and Paddington Gang sells gateway drugs.
Yeah, correct.
They don't sell drugs. They sell gateway drugs. Well, that is great stuff from Leon and Haribo. I'm just deciding, would I get... I famously am a black ink only boy. I've only got black ink on this body. Is that going to look cool if I don't get any like color on there?
What?
The Haribo Leon? The Haribo Bear?
I think that like if you go black ink with a tiny bit of accent on something specifically chosen to have a little bit of color, it pops and it's very cool.
The old Better Call Saul.
Sure.
When what's her face may contain Better Call Saul spoilers. All like the afterlife stuff
Not
is
afterlife.
black and white. Like after the after
Present
Saul
day,
stuff is black and white, and all of the shit when he's Saul is in color. And when she's watching the Saul commercials on the laptop, she turns it to him and she's like, "What's this?" And the reflection on his glasses, what's his name? Gene is his name.
Yep.
The reflection on Gene's glasses is like Saul in color.
That show is the best.
That show, it's so good. Okay, Draisaitl is back from Germany, by the way, and was at the Oilers game last night. The fourth straight win for the Edmonton Oilers. The first time since 1995, the Edmonton Oilers in 2025-26 have won 4 games in a row this season. And all of the wins, I should note, have been against teams that want the points. They beat Utah in Utah 5-2. They beat Vegas in Vegas, not as tough to do. They beat the Ducks 4-2 on Saturday. That was very good. And they shut out the Kraken last night 3-0. So they're on a 4-game heater right now. During the streak, Connor McDavid 5 goals, Evan Bouchard 7 points, not surprising. Matt Savoy 3 goals. The win-win trade stays win-winning. But here's the interesting number. Connor Ingram, 944 save percentage. The team is allowing 1.75 goals a game, which is second in the league. Prior to this stretch, the team was allowing 3.39 goals per game. Connor Murphy making an impact. Dickinson making an impact. It's all starting to kind of slot and it's all starting to kind of work. You don't need to hear this from me. I don't know how much you've been watching them. I kind of need to hear it from you guys at some point. You don't have to do it now, but just like keep an eye on them because they're still without Draisaitl, and let me know if it's starting to look a little figuring their shit outy.
It is.
That's why I've said this earlier. Like that's why I was like over the Oilers thing because they're the Oilers. They're just going to make the playoffs and then they're going to be fine. Like,
I knew
of course they're figuring it out.
So I'll detach myself from the they're going to be fine thing because I was not certain that they were going to be fine, and any belief that they were going to be fine was based off of previous iterations of the Oilers.
100%. Yeah, no, it was definitely, but it was just like the Oilers. I like compared to the Chiefs, they're the team that was like until they were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Or eliminated from the playoffs. We watched this team force, and it's essentially the same team. I know there's the whole goalie thing, but like we watched them force a Game 7 after going down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final. Like until they have been eliminated from the playoffs, I am not counting out. Like the Edmonton Oilers still have time to figure it out. So I'm not surprised by it.
Okay, I think the Boston Bruins deserve. We spent quite a few minutes on the Boston Bruins today. I think they deserve it more than the Oilers right now. I think the Bruins thing is more interesting.
Deserve what?
Like the amount of time that we gave them today. I think that because a lot of people can have like just like wake me up when it's the playoffs, Oilers thing, whatever. I just wanted to check in and say that it's starting to be able to be wrap your head aroundable right now.
The difference between the Bruins conversation and the Oilers conversation is that if the Oilers get their shit together, they can be the team that comes out of the Western Conference. It's going to be a gauntlet and a ride to get there, but there's much less belief in the Bruins being the team to come out of the East. So the stakes are higher for the Oilers. So them figuring it out, I think, is worth discussing. And they are figuring it out, seemingly over the past 4+ games. I think they've been pretty good since the trade deadline.
Yeah, they've been good. They've been okay for a while.
Got to ask the question then.
Paul Coffee Merchant?
No, are you issuing an apology, a fan statement to Stan Bowman?
No, not my thing. Not a kind of thing that I do around here. I'm still hoping that the Leafs don't hire Sonny Maeda so we can get that guy in the offseason. Penguins Jesus, by the way, has shared a fake statement from the Oilers because a lot of people fell for the two fake Stuart Skinner quotes that we talked about yesterday and had a good laugh about. Here is the tweet from Penguins Jesus. Wow. Period. The hashtag Let's Go Oilers released a statement this morning addressing their 2 Stanley Cup runs, shifting some of the criticism away from goaltending. Notably, it mentions current hashtag Let's Go Pens, Stuart Skinner, and points more directly to shortcomings elsewhere in the lineup. Again, this is fake. It even says on Twitter, made with AI. In light of a comprehensive review of video footage and statistical data from the past 2 Stanley Cup runs, the Edmonton Oilers have determined their responsibility for those outcomes extends beyond the goaltending position. The organization recognizes that Stuart Skinner performed to the best of his ability and that team success ultimately depends on execution throughout the lineup, particularly from its primary scorers in key moments. We regret that Stuart Skinner was positioned as a focal point of criticism and acknowledge that such characterization did not fully reflect the collective nature of the game. We extend our sincere apologies to Stuart Skinner and commend his professionionalism, misspelled with 2 I's, with 3 I's.
And no S.
And
no
effort,
second S.
No second S. And effort. Nice one. A-I-I-I-I. The Edmonton Oilers wish him continued success moving forward, including this year's Stanley Cup final. Go Oilers. And more importantly, let's go Pens.
It's fucking ridiculous.
What fucking show, what radio show is going to, like, Felger and Maz, if this were about the Bruins, would be reading this right now.
My biggest question in here is, why did you need AI to make this statement? It's just text on a blue background with the Oilers logo right below it.
Probably they might have used it to write the statement. Like not the graphic necessarily, but the
that
statement
is
could have
unbelievable laziness. So
yeah. But like, even if you have that, why does it show made with AI in the uploading thing? You know what I'm saying? Like if you make that
I don't really know
elsewhere,
how the made with AI thing works.
Me neither.
Good.
I have never
It's
used
fuck
AI.
AI.
Penguins Jesus also followed up that tweet with you can see how mad this intern was typing this up just by looking at some of the small details, and it's
Yes, I did
highlighting the
see that.
professionalism misspelling.
Oh, man. Careful, everybody.
Oh,
Just
God.
careful with this. I think that one was fake. The Toronto Maple Leafs press conference following their dismissal of Brad Treliving, not fake. They had a real press conference, 28 minutes long. Keith Pelly, the CEO of MLSE, which is Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, I believe, held a press conference. And the key quote that a lot of people grabbed onto is, quote, "We definitely didn't see the train coming," which was the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens and how strong those 2 teams are. I don't know what any of us can say that hasn't been said immediately. I had a reaction to this and then watched the Steve Dangle clip where he said word for word the same thing, which was, my brother in Christ, the Montreal Canadiens made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I know.
They were a young team who made the playoffs and then traded for guys.
Yeah, it's you can give them a pass on the Sabres for sure, but you didn't see the Canadiens coming, especially when you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, the constant comparison should be Montreal, right?
Yeah.
because that's like kind of your direct locational rival, direct Canadian rival, direct storied rival.
They've got problems.
Correct.
Also,
that's clearly so far from having your finger on the pulse of anything going on in the National Hockey League.
but not even just that. Like, who fucking cares?
You're right.
Have a good hockey
good.
team. Like, just be good. It doesn't matter. Like, there's obviously going to be other teams in the playoffs. So even if it was the fucking, like, you probably also didn't expect the New York Rangers to be the worst team in the conference. Like, that goes both ways. You have to be a good team still.
I also saw somebody very funny put in the work and said if the Sabres and Canadiens had lost every single game that they played this season, the Toronto Maple Leafs would still miss the playoffs. Would still not be in the playoff picture, being like, the reason that we're not in it is because we didn't see these guys coming. Well, if they went 0-82,
welcome to
you'd
hockey.
still miss.
And also, not to be the Sabres fan here, but like the Sabres have been a sleeping tiger for 14 years. Not for 14 years, but like the last few years, it's been like you've been waiting for them to figure it out. It's not like they went and signed fucking. It's not like they traded for Mitch Marner. Like it's the same roster it's been. So like I get not being like but like you're a GM of a hockey team. You're not like a fan. You should look at the Buffalo Sabres and be like, it's only a matter of time before they figure it out. So
Pelly
just to be like everybody, like,
it's bad, dude. Pelly also said, I totally disagree with tanking, and we won't do that. That's not what I believe sport is all about, and everyone that knows me in North America, I added that, everyone that knows me, I have a fierce opinion on that, and in my opinion, that changes the integrity of sport and changes the integrity of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We will not do anything to try to get a top 5 pick, and if fans are angry with that, then I respect that, but we will not tank.
I'm on this guy's side for this.
Yes. Do not try anything to get a top 5 pick. He did not say anything, though, about doing anything to get a top 10 pick. It brings us to a new segment, a brand new segment. Sean, do you have it? Called Who Says No? And it's where we look at a scenario and ask, who says no? This is a way that the Toronto Maple Leafs can get a top 10 pick. Sean, hit me with this hypothetical that was presented. Okay, this was presented. The Maple Leafs receive the 2026 first-round pick belonging to the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's currently in possession of the Boston Bruins and Jonas Korpisalo. The Boston Bruins receive Austin Matthews at 15% retained. You know how much those teams like to do trades with 15% retained. And Joseph Wall. Who says no? Who says no? Who's saying it? You think anyone's saying no to that one? You can get a top 10 pick. Chat, who says no? Who do you think saying no to that one?
Austin Matthews.
I don't know if Austin Matthews is saying no to that.
Kidding me? He's probably the first person saying yes.
No,
King's Shamans in the chat says Racco Gudis finds a way to say no. You can get a top 10 pick. They don't want a top 5 pick. So they've established their stance. They do not want high draft picks.
Yes.
They think that shit is for cowards.
I do. I absolutely love. We will not tank. We will not do anything to intentionally get a top 5 pick.
We will be bad organically.
We will be bad
exactly.
by accident.
It's like why change something that's why fix what's broken? It's we don't gotta try.
So this is I said it earlier this week. Like the Leafs just have the absolute stink of a corporation that has no idea what the fuck is going on within its own walls, and all they want to do is print money, and they're very good at printing money. They have no idea how to run a sports franchise other than just milking every single penny out of it. The Leafs are the fucking Red Sox, man. Like, the Leafs are the Red Sox.
That's so bad.
No, that's not. I don't think that's
the Red
fair.
Sox are better at running a baseball team than the Leafs are at running their hockey team, but the reasons why Red Sox fans are pissed off with this current ownership, kind of like the same reasons why the Maple Leafs are failing.
No, but like the difference is that I think the Boston Red Sox, if they wanted to, have the capability of fielding a good baseball team. They just don't really want to. Like, Henry doesn't want to spend the money. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs have been trying their hardest to be a good hockey team, and this has been the product of it. So I feel like there's distinct difference in like the effort levels, and that makes the Maple Leafs thing worse in a whole different way.
I think that the Red Sox are trying to be a good baseball team. I just think that they think that they're so smart that they can do it for a minimal price tag, and they're not throwing money at the problem. If the Leafs had the capability of throwing money at the problem, I think that they would do it. But I think that the ineptitude is a product of the corporatization of the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's similar in that sense that like the reason that the Red Sox suck is a product of like the way that Fenway Sports Group is run.
Correct.
It is like they just don't. But again, the difference I think is that like Henry just doesn't prioritize the Boston Red Sox, whereas MLSE prioritizes the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Toronto Maple Leafs still suck. Like they would throw money at it if they could, whereas the Boston Red Sox, they could throw money at it and they refuse to.
I think the Red Sox is more arrogance and the Maple Leafs is more incompetence.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think it's even arrogance.
But I think that
it's
it
just a
both
lack of
stems from
giving
the
a
same
shit.
place. Which again is that like both of these teams are running themselves like a corporation rather than a sports team.
Well, I think it's not. I think it's that a corporation is running them. Like it's they are a corporation, and it's profit over. Not even. I don't know. I don't understand how sports teams are run. Why would you not want to fucking win? Why invest if you're not going to try your hardest to win? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Why don't you run me that slate, Sean?
Why not?
We got the Vancouver Canucks, a 3-gamer, not 10. And this one, buckle up if you like bad slates, because you can watch these games. The Canucks at the Avalanche. I'll tell you what, if the Canucks had beaten the Knights the other night, I would have been like, okay, I'll watch this. Starting at 8:30 p.m., we kick off the slate. It's all nothing on the East.
Unless you're watching PWHL. This is a great PWHL night because you have 2 games that start at 7 p.m. Ooh. So you got Frost in New York, Frost at Sirens, and then Golden Eyes at Victoire at 7. And then there's also Toronto Scepters at Charge at 8 or at 9. Damn, at 9:30 p.m. Why is that? That's an East Coast game being played at 9:30. I don't know what's going on there unless it's a takeover. But yeah, there are PWHL games tonight if this shit sucks, which it looks like it does.
It's also, I mean, it's a Passover friendly. I didn't say Passover, that it's Passover in the United States and Canada, but this is a Passover friendly slate. Want to be with family, do Passover shit?
Well,
don't have to watch fucking Canucks.
If you're an Eastern Conference Passover celebrator or an East Coast Conference celebrator, it's not very Passover friendly if you're out west because it's early too. Like those are 6 p.m. Pacific start times.
Yeah, okay, so Canucks at Avalanche, no one watching that shit. The Blues at the Kings is an interesting one. 2 teams that I mean, Kings might be getting in here. I think the Kings actually are in. Let me check the standings. I think that they are in by points percentage today, right?
Yeah.
They would be the second. All right, and then the second wild card, I'm sorry. And then this one's interesting. The Ducks and Sharks on TNT at 9 p.m. Eastern, the United
Eric
States.
Riverson, pretty good. I'm a pass over the slate.
Yes, exactly. You can pass over this slate. Ducks and Sharks is interesting because I think that the Ducks might now, because like the Oilers are kind of nipping at Anaheim's heels, and I'm really starting to subscribe to that. No, I don't want that first seed shit. So maybe the Ducks maybe struggle against the Sharks. Maybe the Sharks think that they're still in this thing. I don't know. It could be a bit of a ballet recital.
I think I've said that you probably don't want that Pacific title based off the playoff seeding, but I also don't think it's good behavior to think that way. I think that's a loser's mentality. The Ducks should want to win every game and lock it in before the playoffs.
I agree with that.
I think it's if anything, it's like a subconscious thing. Like I think there's not a dire. You're not like fighting for your playoff lives in the way that like the Sharks are necessarily. I mean, I don't know how much of a life they have, how much of a pulse they have left, but like, I guess they're only a point out. Never mind.
2 points out.
I'll respect.
Yeah.
They're 2 points right now by points. They're 2 points out with 2 games in hand.
Oh, really? So then by
they're
points
tied with the
percentage,
Kings.
how are they not in?
They're tied with the Kings. They're both 521 for that second. So, but the Kings have more actual points. So yeah, I mean, the Ducks don't need to win this game in the same way the Sharks need to win it. So it wouldn't make sense if they struggled.
Well, it is such an A-, and I hope that everybody enjoys Passover, or just, as Eric Ripperson said, passing over this slate. It's an A- for sure. I want to hit something for Sports Interaction that I tweeted about just before the show, because the games aren't interesting. So this will be brought to you by Sports Interaction Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Let me just pull up Sports Interaction here. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Sports Interaction, Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Okay, so as we go to Sports Interaction and look at the awards we see in the NHL. Sorry, I'm just pulling it up right here. The Norris. I think we all expect that Zach Werenski will win the Norris, which makes me so happy. It's what we all want to happen. Let me I can't find. I looked before. Zach Werenski is the favorite to win the Norris. Second best odds to win the Norris right now are Evan Bouchard. And that is wonderful for Evan Bouchard. And I think that is his award, that on Wednesday, April 1st, no fooling, he was the second best favorite to win the Norris. I really recommend against betting on Evan Bouchard to win the Norris. Like, his odds are good. Like, hey, second best, it's plus money or whatever. Like, don't do it. And if he wins Norris and you could have made money, I apologize to you. I am positive Evan Bouchard is not winning the Norris. I would love if he did. I'd be angry, actually, if Zach Werenski. I want Zach Werenski to win. Evan Bouchard is not finishing top 2, even. I don't think that Evan Bouchard is finishing top 3. I think that he probably should finish top 3, but none of us, and we've been over this, none of us think that guy is getting votes.
Yeah, I think the theory that we threw out there earlier this season would be that voters, based off of Evan Bouchard's reputation and his history, and the fact that not all voters really like pour over the tape.
Yeah,
there are reputations that cling to players that, fair or unfair, prevent them from getting votes. And I think a lot of voters will look at Evan Bouchard and say, there's no fucking way I'm voting for that guy to win Norris. And you put out a few feelers.
I did.
And there have been voters who have said, no fucking way I'm voting for that guy to win the Norris. So that theory has been proven correct. Does it mean that he can never win a Norris? Probably. But who's to say? Who's to say? We had that conversation months ago, and we said Evan Bouchard will suffer from the Erik Karlsson PTSD of Norris voting. And I think that both of those defensemen have taken that conversation personally, because they've both been awesome since. Erik Karlsson has been amazing. Evan Bouchard has been really, really, really fucking good. And shout out to Evan Bouchard, because he deserves his flowers for how well he's played, but he's not going to win the fucking Norris.
Don't vote for him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't bet on him. People should be voting for him. But yeah, I mean, I talked to some Norris voters who are like, yeah, he's not getting one of my top votes, which free countries, that's fine for whatever reason. And we can get mad about it. A lot of Bob has gotten pretty worked up about it. I think Bob mainly is worked up still that Evan Bouchard was left off Team Canada, which I love. I'll be watching an Oilers game. Oh, we do have to get to a clip of Bob. Yeah. But they'll be like, oh, like Bob's birthday was the other day. They brought him out a cake and everything. And I feel like he's wrapped this shit up so I can point out that they should have put Evan Bouchard on Team Canada.
Don't let my birthday distract from Evan Bouchard. Should have been on Team Canada.
Yes. Evan Bouchard is plus 550 right now to win the Norris, which is the second best odds behind Werenski. Yeah?
Who do you think is going to be second then?
I think it's going to be Makar, and that personally is going to annoy me, but I'm not going to let it drive me crazy. I think it's going to be a lot of reputation shit. I think that Makar is going to be ahead of him. I think that Hughes is going to be ahead of him. I think that Hughes being ahead of him is especially people haven't been watching, but what are you going to do? I don't know where people are going to go on Lane Hudson, though.
I wish you could do the horse thing. More like you bet the finishing, who's going to be first, second, third.
Yeah, like 1, 2, 3, box.
Yeah,
whatever
that would be
trifecta.
Yeah. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatchaos to open an account. Ontario only 18 plus. Please play responsibly. There were some adorable Oilers clips yesterday. I don't know if you saw Gene interviewing Connor Ingram after the game.
I did not.
And he was like, "You got to shut it on your birthday. How you doing?" And he was like, "I mean, I didn't do anything. Like, the team's good." But it was very fun and charming. Not as fun and charming as Bob Stauffer asking Zach Hyman about his brother potentially taking over as Leafs GM.
Are you concerned about losing Spencer Hyman to the Maple Leafs?
Bob, we're going to keep him as a Bulldog for now. So Spence is we're up 2-0 against Sudbury right now, and Spence is the general manager. He's done a phenomenal job. So I'm sure teams will be calling, but hopefully we can keep him for a little longer.
That is the great Zach Hyman, whose brother, Spencer Hyman, is the general manager of the Brampton Bulldogs, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. How'd that happen?
By them buying the team.
Yeah.
How do you pass over to the great Zach Hyman, who he gets to ask that, and he's Bob. Bob.
Brantford Bulldogs.
Brantford. I thought I fucked it up. I apologize.
I do love that they have like that Bob and Spectre exist in the same market, where it's just like they can ask ridiculous questions, and one of them gets the response of like I'm gonna kill you, and the other one's just like oh Bob being Bob.
But the thing is that Bob will throw in like that kind of question from Bob.
Yeah, they're different.
Is
yeah,
a 2%. Like Bob's fucking around. The other 98% of the time, Bob is deadly serious about the Edmonton Oilers and is like a very smart guy.
And to be fair, like he's being like, your brother's awesome, isn't he? He's not like, why do you suck? In a way that Spectre might.
Yes.
Yeah, Brampton is the Steelheads. I apologize. Thank you for correcting us, young gritty. Appreciate you all very much. Can we do some super chats, Sean? Yes, from Gabby Nicole. There's a new hottest team in hockey, and Ingram is the best birthday boy in the world. Let's go Oilers. Shout out Gabby Nicole. Biento Lapero says, no joke, it's my birthday today. Love the show despite the shit you guys give my people. Love a French person. Go Habs go. Gritzy Ross says, the Flyers chunked it in Martone's debut. Boo hiss.
Martone kind of chunked it in his debut. That you see that feed he got from Marchenko, Michkov, like
no,
and he had the puck like in the crease basically, and he kind of fumbled it a little bit and missed the chance at his first goal in his first game.
Who passed it into the corner?
Oh, Cam York.
Yeah, that was
Cam
awesome.
York.
Cam
That
York,
shit was
Cam
crazy.
York passed it into the corner, and you could hear somebody audibly on the broadcast yell, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's the best. Also, happy birthday to Sergei Murashov, who we mentioned earlier in the show. He is 21 years old. Enjoy that illegal vodka, my friend.
Yes. Chiefs, Chiefies, Meefies says the Detroit Death March, the phenomenon in which every March, yes, the Red Wings slowly but surely fall out of the playoff picture. Renee says no pressure. By God, that's the Kings music. Renee also says Charlie Kirk 67 Bruins jersey tattoo will go hard.
Jesus Christ.
Pete's thinking about it. Stacey Faye says, I'm a simple human. You say tattoo, and I send super chat. Yes, Stacey Faye loves a tattoo. Full Venom Jacket says...
Oops, my bad.
Dobej looking like he's going to try his best 2010 Halak impression when he gets ousted, when he ousted the Pens and Caps to make the East Finals as the 8th seed. Yes, I remember that. I worried about the Tampa matchup. Not as worried now. Go Habs. Yes, Dobej is the best goalie over the last 4 games. Where Ingram has been very good, Dobej even better.
It makes me feel very good about my my future on the Canadians, who are one of the hottest teams in hockey right now. Agnes says, don't know if you talked about it. Have you seen the video of fans at American Airlines Center throwing Nazi salutes? Disgusting behavior. Yes, I have seen that. Fucking figure it out. Clean it up, please.
Knock it the fuck off.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yukon Luke 97. Pelly got punked by the Saudi PIF while running the DP World Tour, and now he's about to let MLSE get punked. The wrong guy. I mean, that press conference in and of itself suggested maybe he's the wrong guy.
That's the wrong guy.
That's the wrong guy. Wrong CEO. Kalanish says, footy break. Go to the fan zones for the Scotland game. We'll lose, but it'll be so much fun. First time in 20 years, I feel an affinity for Buffalo. Welcome back, Scotland.
There's
Also,
nothing better.
RIP
Also, dude,
Italian
Italy sucks.
soccer.
Italy sucks. Oh my God. What happened to Forza Italia? They won Euros in 2020 or whatever it was, 2021, and it's just been an absolute fucking joke ever since.
It's
An absolute
anti-Italian
embarrassment.
discrimination. That's what it is.
By the Italians. By the Italians. They
Silver
discriminating
Nails?
against themselves.
Silver Nail says, need your thoughts on Connor Story's version ad. I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Verizon, maybe?
Perhaps. Does say version.
I feel like it's probably not Verizon.
MeBK says Spencer Hyman for Stan Bowman. Who says no?
It is a Verizon ad.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay. Get
I
that
think a
bag.
version was a
I haven't
magazine.
seen the commercial, but get the bag. That's all I have to say about that. Mimi K says Spencer Hyman for Stan Bowman. Who says no?
I mean, I'd rather Spencer Hyman than I would.
It would certainly not put any sort of water on the flames that the Hyman family only benefits from family money.
Yes, but I don't know. We'll see how the Bulldogs do here. I need a result before I can go poaching OHL GMs. It is, in fact, Verizon, says everybody. Thank you very much. An abject horror of Connor Story's ass in a Verizon commercial. We will do that tomorrow, okay? Yes?
Patreon episode this week. We are going to record shortly after today's episode, so we might put that out early. I feel like there's no real purpose in sitting
we have
on
to
it.
record it today at some point, so we'll get that out.
There's no real fucking reason to sit on it, so we'll put out this week's Patreon bonus episode. And yes, we are going to discuss the fucking Summer House drama. And when I say discuss, I'm probably going to just explain it to DJ and Sean because I don't believe they know what's going on.
No, this was a true, like, I saw that hit the timeline, and I was like, I have actually never heard these names before. Like, I genuinely have no clue what any of
excited
this.
for it.
We will also, this is late breaking news to everybody, but we will be on Felger and Maz today. Felger and Maserati, our dear friends in Boston. We will be on that radio show at 2:20 p.m. Eastern, the United States and Canada. You can watch that. You can listen to that, but definitely email because they do emails at the end of the show. And whenever we go on, people email complaining about it. So email Felger at 985thesportshub.com with any sort of references to anything that we're saying that pisses them off. And like last time it was fallow year. I think Maz was receptive to. Felger was not. Yelled, we do not have farmers listening to our show. Anything that presses any of their buttons, lean into that. Say, I liked the boys when they talked about farming. You guys are cowards for not having more of that. Whatever. Okay. Thank you to Jakob Dobej, to Zach Hyman, to Spencer Hyman, to Bob Stauffer, to Sam Carrick, to Jacob Markstrom, to Igor Shesterkin, Jeremy Swayman, Andrei Vasilevsky, Alex Nedeljkovic, Sergei Bobrovsky, Linus Ullmark. Who else are we thanking? Stuart Skinner, fake Stuart Skinner, Penguins Jesus, Young Gritty generally.
You say Spencer Hyman?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so. Maybe.
You did.
Leon Draisaitl, of course. The Detroit Red Wings, kind of. The Colorado Avalanche social team.
Yes.
And their stat truck. We
right.
like that.
That's right. To Victor Arvidsson. Did you say that?
Yep.
To James Hagans. Hopefully he a Boston resident soon.
To Homeboy. What's dude's name? Keith Pelly.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
boy.
thank you for your work in dismantling the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thank you, Keith.
Have you seen the clip of Terry Francona at the Fall League when Michael Jordan was in it? Terry Francona was the third base coach for the Scorpions or whatever. Michael Jordan hits a triple and he gets around to third and he's like, "Great job, homie." Terry Francona to the greatest basketball player of all time. It was the most like, and then the commentator was like, I love that. You could see how Terry really relates to his player, calling Michael homie. I'm like, oh, this is the most 90s shit ever. It was like, no, Terry.
I'm watching that right after this. It's got big, is it Quentin Tarantino talking about how he's not too computer savvy.
I don't know.
Sure.
that.
Have you seen that, Sean?
No.
Quentin Tarantino on a like a press tour with the cast of, I forget what movie it was, but he's with his mostly black cast and I believe a black interviewer. And boy, Quentin Tarantino sounds a lot different from how Quentin Tarantino often sounds in interviews.
Shocker.
And he talks about how he's not too computer savvy. And he says it like that. And he then says things in other ways that I'm not going to mimic. And it is shocking.
Jesus Christ.
We're going to watch that.
That's not shocking at all. That's not shocking in the slightest.
Yeah.
It's Quentin Tarantino we're talking about.
Okay. We love you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And check out Felger and Maz. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything. Daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.